Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, the Supreme Court, in a temporary move, blocks the deportation of Venezuelan migrants held in Texas under the Alien Enemies Act. The move following an emergency appeal from the ACLU, as the senator who spoke with the man wrongly deported to a prison in El Salvador reveals more about their face-to-face meeting.
Search for answers, the investigation into the FSU shooting on campus, as we learn the identities of the two men who lost their lives, and hear from a student who was shot.
Stay down, play dead.
What she did to survive.
Key rulings in the Idaho College murders case, the judge's decision on what can be said in court at Brian Kohberger's upcoming capital murder trial.
Easter weekend storms. More than 30 million people on alert for severe weather. The threats of tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail, and flooding fears for the Plains and Mississippi Valley.
Chilling 911 call, police say, is from the man accused of firebombing Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's residence.
You all know where to find me. I'm not hiding, and I will confess to everything that I have done.
The alleged arsonist describing the motive for the attack.
Playoff fever. The teams facing off in the NHL's first round matches.
Shoots, he scores!
And in the NBA, the teams scoring a spot from the play-in rounds overnight. As ESPN's Malika looks ahead to today's matchups.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Oh, good morning, America. We are so excited to be here. You had a week off. Both of our kids had spring break, so we had a good time away.
We did.
Excited to be back.
Regrouped, ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll.
60 degrees outside, getting even warmer here in New York.
Beautiful day. Yes, amen. A big sports weekend ahead with the NHL and NBA playoffs starting. Overnight, the Memphis Grizzlies and Miami Heat scoring victories in the play-in round ahead of today's games. We'll preview the matchup in both leagues.
And on this Easter weekend, we're also live in Rome for the Holy Weekend events happening there. Vice President J.D. Vance attending Good Friday services at the Vatican. We also have the latest on the FSU shooting in a show of solidarity, many gathering at Florida State University to honor the lives lost and support those recovering from the tragedy.
Yeah, scary moments there, but we do start here with the breaking news overnight in the immigration battle. The Supreme Court acting on an emergency appeal from the ACLU involving potential new deportation efforts. Our senior White House correspondent, Selena Wang, is live for us in Washington with the latest now. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, good morning, Gio. The Trump administration's battle with the courts is rapidly escalating. The Supreme Court is again weighing in on their deportation plans as Senator Chris Van Hollen fights for the release of a man who was mistakenly deported to that notorious prison in El Salvador. Overnight, in a temporary move, the Supreme Court blocking the deportation of Venezuelan migrants held in Texas under the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old law that provides little to no due process. The court ruling on an emergency appeal from the ACLU, directing the administration to pause the deportations until further order of this court. The ACLU saying they're relieved and that these men were in imminent danger of spending their lives in a horrific foreign prison without ever having had the chance to go to court. This comes amid the showdown over Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a migrant who was mistakenly deported to the infamous Secot prison in El Salvador. Senator Chris Van Hollen arriving back in the U.S., recounting their face-to-face meeting.
He was traumatized by being at Secot and fearful of many of the prisoners in other cell blocks.
Van Hollen says Salvadoran officials gave Abrego Garcia no information about why he was sent to the prison.
I asked the vice president exactly that question. Why is he here? Is he violating any laws in El Salvador? Do you have any proof that he's committed a crime? No. Why is he here? Because the Trump administration is paying us to keep him here.
President Trump lashing out at Van Hollen's trip.
No, look, he's a fake. I know him. I know them all. They're all fake. And they have no interest in that prisoner. That prisoner's record is unbelievably bad.
The Trump administration insists Abrego Garcia is a violent gang member, which his family denies. He has no criminal convictions and they've provided no evidence. Van Hollen says the administration is blatantly defying the Supreme Court, which has ordered them to facilitate Abrego Garcia's release.
Senator Van Hollen says that Abrego Garcia's case is about more than just one person. He says it's about protecting the constitutional rights and due process of every person who lives in America. Janae?
All right, Selena Wang there in Washington. Thank you. Turning to Tallahassee now, as we learn more about the mass shooting at Florida State University. Overnight, a vigil there was held for the 2 people killed and 6 others who were injured. ABC's Faith Abube joins us now with the latest. And Faith, you spoke with the victim who says she played dead to survive.
And what an inspiring young lady. She is promising to make a full recovery. Janae, good morning to you. It was so heart-wrenching yesterday seeing many students gather here at this makeshift memorial, a lot of them hugging each other, sobbing, some of them just standing here in complete silence for an extended period of time, just going through and reflecting on the trauma they just experienced on this campus and honoring the victims.
This morning, as tributes pour in across Florida State University, the identities of some of the victims in that deadly campus shooting revealed. Both Tiru Chaba and Robert Morales killed in the rampage. Morales was a former assistant football coach at a nearby high school. Chaba, a father of 2, was working for a campus vendor when police say gunshots rang out Thursday. Police say at 11 a.m. the suspect arrived at an FSU parking garage, lingering until 11:56 a.m. before police say he fired the first shot. The entire shooting lasting less than 5 minutes, but police say suspect Phoenix Eichner claimed 2 lives and injured 6 other people. Panicked students sheltering in place. 23-year-old grad student Madison Askins shot from the back, trying to run for her life. She says she played dead to survive.
All I could think of is what my mom and dad always told me to do during an active shooter drill. Stay down, play dead. So I released all the muscles in my body, closed my eyes, and I held my breath.
Was there a moment where you thought, I'm not going to make this, I'm going to make it out of here?
When he reloaded, I thought, great, this might be the end. But I knew I just needed to stay calm, stay where I was.
By noon, police shooting the suspect after they say he ignored commands to drop his weapon. Investigators say the gun he allegedly used belonged to his stepmother, a local sheriff's deputy.
This was her personal weapon. It was a previous service weapon, but it was now her personal weapon. And so our policies align with Florida statute as it relates to that.
This as the troubled past of the suspect comes into sharper focus. Court documents revealing the former junior ROTC recruit was at the center of a years-long battle between his biological parents. For a time, his mother taking him out of the country, according to a petition filed in 2015. Court documents also say he was on medication for several health and mental issues, including growth hormone disorder and ADHD.
And when investigators tell me that suspect will be charged and arraigned once he's released from the hospital. At this time, they're still working and coordinating with his doctors to figure out when that will be. And once he's discharged, he's heading straight to jail.
All right, Faith Abube for us. Thank you. This morning, Iran and the United States are sitting down for a new round of talks on Iran's nuclear program. ABC's Marcus Moore is joining us now from Rome, where those meetings are taking place. Marcus, good morning.
Whit, good morning. These talks are a continuation of the negotiations that took place last week in Oman. Officials indicated that those talks went well, and today's meeting here in Rome. Omani officials serving as mediators in the indirect talks led by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Vice President Vance is also here in Italy, but not taking part in the meeting. As you know, the Trump administration is working to curb Iran's nuclear program. The UN says the country has accelerated its uranium enrichment closer to a level that would allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. And the U.S. and Israel say that cannot be allowed to happen. President Trump has threatened military action if a deal isn't reached by the end of a 2-month deadline, he said back in March. So this meeting will be important. And I think one issue to watch for under any new deal is whether Iran is permitted to continue its nuclear program or called to dismantle it altogether, which would likely be a non-starter on Iran's part. And amidst all of this, you have Israel waiting in the wings and ready to attack Iran's nuclear sites as it sees an imminent threat. So a lot is at stake, Whit, and there's every sense that time is ticking for these sides to reach a deal to avert another breakout of violence in the Middle East.
Yes, definitely something to watch closely there. And Marcus, as you noted, Vice President Vance is also there in Rome. What more are you learning about his plans?
Yeah, the Vice President arrived here yesterday. He attended an Easter Good Friday service with his family. He's met with cardinals and other clergy. He also toured the Apostolic Palace. The Vice President is expected to leave for India tomorrow. And meanwhile, Holy Week masses are set to continue, and we'll watch for what appearances Pope Francis makes. After his long hospital stay from pneumonia just weeks ago, the faithful have gathered here in large numbers, hoping to receive a blessing from the Pope on Easter Sunday.
Yes, we see those large crowds there at the Vatican. Marcus Moore for us. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Gio?
All right, Whit. The Trump administration says it may be ready to, quote, move on from peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying an agreement to end the war in Ukraine needs to be reached in a matter of days. The Trump White House first proposed a 30-day ceasefire back in March. Ukraine agreed. Russia did not. The president previously said he could broker a deal to stop the conflict in just 24 hours. Janae?
All right, Gio. Now to the chilling 911 call authorities say was made shortly after the attack on the Pennsylvania governor's residence. ABC's Morgan Norwood joins us now. In Morgan, police say that the call came from the man accused in that firebombing.
Yeah, that's right, Janae. And less than an hour after flames tore through the Pennsylvania governor's mansion, the suspect made that chilling move, calling 911 to confess. He was calm, almost detached, and then ranted about the war in Gaza. And this morning, that 911 call is now a key part of that massive investigation.
You all know where to find me. I'm not hiding, and I will confess to everything that I had done.
This morning, the chilling confession police say is from the man who allegedly firebombed Governor Josh Shapiro's Pennsylvania home.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Well, I don't really have an emergency. I would like to apologize.
In less than an hour after the attack, authorities say 38-year-old Cody Balmer calmly called 911, heard in this newly obtained audio, apologizing and describing his motive for the attack as related to the war in Gaza, calling Shapiro, who favors a two-state solution, a monster.
Governor Josh Shapiro needs to know that Cody Balmer will not take part in his plans for what he wants to do to the Palestinian people. All he has is a banquet hall to clean up.
The brazen attack happened just hours after the Shapiro family hosted more than 24 people for the first night of Passover, when police say the suspect hopped a fence at the governor's mansion, broke windows, and threw Molotov cocktails made from beer bottles and gasoline. No one was injured in the attack. In an exclusive interview, ABC's George Stephanopoulos asking the governor whether this was a hate crime.
I recognize when you're in these positions of power, there are people out there that want to do you harm. I try not to be captive to the fear, and I try not to worry or think about why people want to do that harm.
And this morning, that suspect is facing arson, attempted murder, and terrorism charges. He has yet to enter a plea, but we know he's due back in court next week.
All right, Morgan Norwood, thank you. We move now to the new court ruling on some potential evidence in the case against Idaho College murder suspect Bryan Kohberger, as his trial is set to get underway in a little over 3 months. ABC's Melissa Adon is here now with details. Melissa, good morning.
Good morning. So the judge for the Idaho College murders case is laying the groundwork with these critical decisions ahead of the high-profile murder trial this summer. This morning, the judge in the Idaho College murders case largely siding with prosecutors in several key rulings for Bryan Kohberger's August trial. Regarding Kohberger's autism spectrum disorder, DNA evidence, witness testimony, and suspect's car, Judge Stephen Hippler severely restricting what Kohberger's defense team can say about his autism spectrum disorder unless Kohberger takes a stand on his own behalf in order to explain his behavior. The judge clearing the way for an Idaho State Police lab manager to testify on specifics of Kohberger's DNA, which prosecutors say was found at the crime scene on a knife sheath similar to this.
What does a knife sheath at a scene mean? That's going to be the ultimate question.
The defense has argued that Kohberger's DNA could have gotten on the sheath by other means than murder. Prosecutors claim Kohberger bought the knife and sheath on Amazon 8 months before Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogen, Zaina Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were fatally stabbed in an off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho in 2022.
Do you think that the surviving roommates were under the stress of the immediate events?
As for one of those surviving roommates, the judge ruling her account of seeing a masked intruder with bushy eyebrows can be used at trial. The defense claimed it would bias the jury, but the judge called her descriptions remarkably consistent. And the judge will allow a state expert to testify that this white Hyundai Elantra spotted on security cameras at and around the crime scene is the same make and model that Kohberger drove.
Now the trial is set for August. Kohberger is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. A not guilty plea was entered on his behalf by a judge. Gio.
Okay, Melissa, thank you so much. And from that trial, we move to another one, the trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. A judge has denied his request to delay the proceedings, and that means jury selection could start in just weeks. ABC's Phil Lipoff is tracking this case. Good morning, Phil.
Yeah, Gio, good morning. It looks like it's going to. Sean Combs' trial date is set to go on as expected Friday. A judge ruled Combs' criminal sex trafficking trial will begin next month as scheduled after he denied the defense's request for a 2-month adjournment. The trial is set to begin May 5th with jury selection. The judge said it was unclear why there isn't sufficient time to prepare, especially since 4 different law firms are now representing him. The judge agreed, however, to allow alleged victims to testify under pseudonyms, but one star witness, Diddy's ex, Cassie Ventura, is expected to testify under her own name. She filed, you'll remember, a quickly settled civil lawsuit against Combs. The judge agreed with a defense request to receive outtakes of interviews conducted for a documentary produced by Warner Brothers. Those interviews were conducted with potential trial witnesses. Combs appeared in Jailhouse Beige on Friday and was given a moment at the end of the hearing to communicate with his mother and one of his sons. He told them, "I love you and we're good." He has pleaded, we should mention, not guilty to all 5 federal counts and maintained his innocence in the civil suit that was settled out of court. Janae?
All right, Phil Lipoff, thank you for that update. To measles cases now in the U.S. reaching almost triple what they were for all of last year. The CDC saying that there are now 800 confirmed cases nationwide across 24 states. 2 deaths are confirmed. 1 is under investigation. Health officials report that 96% of this year's cases have occurred in unvaccinated individuals or those with unknown vaccination status.
All right, turning to the Stanley Cup playoffs starting today. ABC's Ashin Singh joins us with a look at the big matchups. Ashin, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. And that's right, the puck is set to drop later today on the Stanley Cup playoffs. And this year's postseason is already full of drama. Here at home, some of America's most iconic teams, the Rangers, Bruins, Red Wings, Penguins, and Blackhawks, all missing out on this year's playoffs, but making room for some fresh faces and breakout storylines. The Cinderella team of the year, the Winnipeg Jets. The squad was not expected to contend, but they shocked the league, finishing first overall. And I know Canadian fans are sick of hearing this, but they've got a very real shot at ending the country's 30-plus year drought at winning the Stanley Cup. Florida is chasing back-to-back championships, but the Panthers will have a tough matchup to start as they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in a battle of South Florida in round 1. And you can't forget about Washington legend Alexander Ovechkin, who just made a history passing Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record with his 895th goal. Now he and his Capitals are hoping to cap off a stellar season with one last cup run. And guys, as a sad Bruins fan, I'm, looking for a team to bandwagon this year, but we definitely got some good hockey ahead. Guys?
You got some good options, too, to bandwagon with.
That's true. That's true, for sure. I think I might be a Jets fan this year.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ashin. We appreciate it. And we haven't forgotten about the NBA playoffs. The Grizzlies and the Heat came out on top in the play-in games overnight. First round games start today, and ESPN's Malika Andrews is going to join us with a preview in our next half hour.
Can't wait to talk to her. Also ahead here on GMA, we're going to hear from the stars of Sinners. That's the hit new film from Black Panther director Ryan Coogler.
Looking forward to that. And in our second hour, the new queen off of RuPaul's Drag Race joins us live for her very first interview after last night's big win. Stick around. You're watching GMA on this Saturday morning.
kid. Hang on. You ready for an adventure?
Oh, we're ready for an adventure. You know I'm excited. Oh, the music. Well, hey, welcome back to GMA on this Saturday morning. The Mandalorian is coming back, folks. The hit show that thrilled audiences for 3 seasons on Disney Plus is becoming a movie now. And ABC's Eva Pilgrim is at Star Wars Celebration 2025 in Japan. Coming up in our second hour, she'll share her interview with the makers of the new Mandalorian movie. How cool is that?
That is.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
Grogu and Mando back together again.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, I could go
excited.
on. Yes, also known as
Love
the
it.
child, but we'll leave it there.
All right, we'll circle back to it. Let's take a look at some of the other big stories that we're following on this Saturday morning. Happening right now, the search for answers as investigators want to know what caused a small plane carrying 3 people to crash into a river near Fremont, Nebraska. Authorities say all of the bodies have been recovered, but the victims' identities have not been released. The FAA and NTSB are taking over the investigation.
Also right now, Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupting again after being quiet for the last week. Lava bursts between 10 and 15 feet high could be seen coming out of the volcano's mouth. The U.S. Geological Survey says this is Kilauea's 18th eruption since December 23rd.
And NASA astronaut Don Petit and 2 Russian cosmonauts will be making their way home today after spending 220 days aboard the International Space Station. Petit and his crewmates orbited the Earth, listen to this, 3,520 times, traveled 93.3 million miles over the course of their mission. Petit also has something else to celebrate as he lands. His 70th birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Don
how
Petit.
fast was that thing going?
I should.
Really fast.
Normally I know this.
Like, well, let me
Off the
take
top
out
of
my
my head, I can't
calculation
remember.
device. Yeah.
Very fast.
Very fast, yes. All right, we do start this half hour with, we were talking about hockey earlier. Now we've got the NBA playoffs getting underway today. ESPN's Malika Andrews joins us from Los Angeles with a look at the teams and the players to watch. Malika, good morning. It's always great to see you.
Good morning. It's so great to be back with you, especially because this is the best time of year in the NBA calendar, friends.
Exactly, and we're jumping right into it because last night, of course, we had those play-in tournament winners. Which team really stood out to you?
Yeah, you know, for me, it has to be the Memphis Grizzlies because Ja Morant, he came into this game, the star of the Grizzlies, playing on an ankle that he had sprained earlier in the week. And that dunk right there told me that he was going to be absolutely fine. He had 22 points, 9 rebounds in this incredibly impressive win. Now, the unfortunate part for the Memphis Grizzlies is now they get a date with the best team in basketball, the Oklahoma City Thunder, in the first round of the playoffs. But Ja Morant's bounce, his dominance from start to finish of this game, it was absolutely impressive for me. I don't want to overlook the Miami Heat, the first 10 seed ever to make it into the playoffs, but it was the Grizzlies for me here, Whit.
And Malika, let's turn to tonight's games. The Los Angeles Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves could easily be a conference finals matchup. What do the Timberwolves need to do to stop the Lakers?
Janae, the confidence that you just had in trivia, that's the confidence that this Timberwolves team has going into this series because they were in the Western Conference Finals last year. So absolutely, do the Lakers have Luka Doncic? Absolutely, do the Lakers have LeBron James? But Anthony Edwards is going to need to be a star in order for them to win this series. He thrives in this moment, and I will say that Magic Johnson, the Lakers great, he did put on social media yesterday that he is, quote, scared for his Los Angeles Lakers team. That's how potent this Timberwolves team can be, but it'll come down to that man right there, Julius Randle. If Julius Randle, who you just saw pass the ball to Anthony Edwards, can be that second best scorer here for the Minnesota Timberwolves, then this is really going to be a series. I could see it going 6 or 7.
Malika, Janae always has that confidence. Always.
The hometown tribute.
I love it. I love it. And she backed it up.
Right? You got it.
For the second year in a row here, the Indiana Pacers are facing off against the Milwaukee Bucks. So what are you looking for in this one?
Yeah, this one always has a little bit of fireworks on the court, maybe stealing game balls off of the court. There's always a little bit of drama. But this year, for me, Gio, it's the health of the Milwaukee Bucks. Last year, Giannis Antetokounmpo wasn't healthy in their first-round matchup. And so Damian Lillard is going to be the player to watch here. He was diagnosed with a blood clot earlier in the season. And pretty miraculously, our Shams Charania is reporting that he's actually going to be able to come back in this series. It will not be be for Game 1. The Milwaukee Bucks absolutely need their star point guard if they want to go far in this series. Giannis has been playing out of this world basketball over the last 2 months or so, but they're going to need Damian Lillard back, and it sounds like they're going to get him.
All right, Malika, let's talk Detroit Pistons because they're back in the playoffs after a very long drought. What surprises could they bring to the matchup tonight against the New York Knicks?
Okay. Janae, I want to be very clear here. The Detroit Pistons have had an incredible season. They are one of the most heartwarming stories in basketball this year. They are tough. They are gritty. Those teams in the 80s, the bad boys, they are reminiscent of those teams. And New York Knicks fans, where you are sitting right now, before you get nervous, I do think the Pistons are going to pose some interesting problems, but Jalen Brunson is going to be the best player on the floor. He elevates his game in the postseason. I do think that this is a series. I know New York fans are measured. It's measured in championships. That's how you measure success, going far in the playoffs. I do think it's going to be an interesting first-round series, but the doom and gloom on the Knicks, I think we can pump the brakes just a little bit there. The Pistons are a great story, but the New York Knicks are the better, more complete basketball team. I know that the Pistons are probably listening to this right now and saying, okay, yeah, you watch what we can do.
But I like how you give each side something to look forward to, right? That classic matchup. Exactly. Malika, thank you so much, as always. We appreciate it. Of course, you can catch the full slate of NBA playoffs starting at 1 on ESPN. Then the Timberwolves-Lakers game. That's at 8:30 right here on ABC. And speaking of the Lakers, Malika also sat down with Luka Doncic in his first extensive interview since that bombshell trade from the Mavs to the Lakers. We will share parts of that interview tomorrow morning right here on GMA.
The last-minute Easter preps going on in millions of American kitchens. With the uncertainty in the economy, we are looking at ways that you can save right now. So ABC's Morgan Norwood is here with some creative ideas. Hey, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Gio. By creative, you mean, Easter puns, right? I got you. Easter's almost here, and whether you're hosting brunch or just here for the chocolate, there are excellent deals that you won't want to miss. First up, Target, you can grab their Easter meal for just $25. That's a 6-pound ham, pineapple slices, potatoes, green beans, all the fixins to fill your table. Now, over at Walmart, they're dishing out an Easter dinner as well that feeds 8 for less than $6 a person. All right, let's talk Easter baskets because you got to have the candy, the filler. Amazon's got you covered. They've got chocolate bunnies starting at just $1.29. Target, 25% off your baskets, eggs, and grass, so you definitely want to stock up now. And then the folks over at Crazy Coupon Lady flagged a deal at CVS. Buy 5, get 5 free on single candy items. And say you're running out of time to build the basket, don't even trip. Walmart has pre-stuffed Easter baskets under $20 and $40. And the best part about it is that they're ready to go with just one click. So hop onto it. These prices are rare. I told you I had corny, morning show puns for you.
Well, I'm glad you're the one who called them corny. Janae and Whit, their eyes just lit up when you talked about those Easter bunnies there. Okay, so how can viewers score the best deals without feeling overwhelmed? Because we know that eggs are in high demand, and of course those prices are also concerns.
Yeah, finding a great deal can feel a little like an Easter egg hunt of its own. So you want to start by using store apps like Target Circle and Walmart Plus for extra sales and coupons. And as it comes for those eggs, the Crazy Coupon Lady, she actually flagged another deal for us. Stop and Shop is offering a free dozen eggs when you spend $100 using their rewards cards. Now, some restrictions do apply, and they're only available in certain states. But bottom line, you want to shop around. Don't put your eggs all in one basket.
Oh, you go, girl.
Unless they're Cadbury eggs. If they're Cadbury eggs, I'll take them all.
You do? You like those? But you don't like the Peeps, right?
I don't like the Peeps.
I don't like the Peeps.
Yeah,
I don't like the Peeps either.
I like my Peeps.
No Peeps. Okay. Thank you so much, Morgan. That was excellent. Crack this up. Yeah, all of it. On GMA, and Black Panther director Ryan Coogler's new movie Sinners is burning up the holiday weekend box office. ABC's Will Gans has more on the movie starring Michael B. Jordan. He plays twins, and Will, this is being called a vampire thriller.
Yeah, you could have said that it's really sinking its teeth into the holiday weekend box office.
We saved it for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. It is a vampire movie and so much more. This is Michael B. Jordan's 5th collaboration with director Ryan Coogler, with films like Black Panther and Creed becoming cultural touchstones. But fans and critics alike say that Sinners might be their best work together to date. Wow.
What could possibly be better than one Michael B. Jordan?
You twins? Nah, we cousins.
2 Michael B. Jordans.
Love you too. Be careful.
I will.
And his new movie, Sinners, is also serving up double helpings of certified fresh scores on Rotten Tomatoes.
Just power.
From critics and audiences alike.
I have seen Sinners, and it's incredible, and it's the best movie of the year so far.
Set in the Mississippi River Delta in the 1930s, Sinners follows twins opening up a juke joint until bloodthirsty vampires show up to crash the party. A gory allegory for the evils that plagued the South in the Jim Crow era and beyond.
The cast, baby, the cast. Every single one of them showed up and all the way out.
That cast also includes Academy Award nominee Haley Steinfeld and BAFTA TV Award winner Wunmi Mosaku.
I work every route my grandmama taught me to keep you and that crazy brother of yours safe.
Alongside the movie's show-stopping score.
There's a huge musical element into it that is the heartbeat of the film, and it ties into so many other different dynamics that exist in our movie.
The beating heart of that musical magic, newcomer Miles Caton making his dazzling debut.
We won't make some money.
Miles speaking with our Rhiannon Alley.
I grew up in a musical family of gospel singers, and I grew up singing in church.
There's so many different themes that Ryan Coogler wants to explore, and all of those are wrapped up in the blues. So there's incredible music from Ludwig Göransson and a real tribute to the blues pioneers, people like Buddy Guy. And it's really exciting to see that this could really become more of a cultural moment.
And Sinners is big, literally.
For select sections of the film, sections of emotional intensity, musical intensity, or horror intensity, we chose to film those sequences with a bigger aspect ratio, and the film will pop out and expand for those moments. It'll be a really, really immersive way to watch the movie.
Sinners is now projected to pull in a solid $50 million in its opening weekend. But Coogler told our Michael Strahan that the movie is much more personal than just a box office haul.
This thing is a love letter to my uncle who passed away in 2015 from Mississippi. He just had a real passion for the blues, you know, so it's a love letter to him as well.
Sinners is in theaters now, and one of the other astounding things about the movie is how quickly it was made. Ryan Coogler turned in a script last December. They began shooting in April, and exactly 1 year later, it's in theaters.
Wow.
That never happens for movies this big.
Wow.
I'm so excited.
Days especially.
Yeah.
I was texting Tommy, and I'm like, we got to go see this now.
Yeah.
This is good.
It's a little long. It's like 2 hours and 14 minutes, but it's worth it, and it really takes you on a journey. And if you scare easily, maybe bring someone like Tommy.
Ryan Coogler is incredible. Great to see him doing
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Good morning, America. It's our second hour. Breaking overnight, the Supreme Court in a temporary move blocking the deportation of Venezuelan migrants held in Texas under the Alien Enemies Act. The move following an emergency appeal from the ACLU as the senator who spoke with the man wrongly deported to a prison in El Salvador shares more about their face-to-face meeting.
Egg prices skyrocketing just in time for Easter. But no need to scramble. We've hunted down the best last-minute hacks to celebrate and decorate without breaking the bank.
As the Tortured Poets Department turns one, which A-list star is covering Taylor Swift? Listen to the voice.
Please change the prophecy.
Who is that? We're going to tell you in Pop News.
And fresh from her big win overnight, Onya Nurve, the newly crowned queen of RuPaul's Drag Race, ready to make a splash live. And she's saying,
well, good morning, America.
It's Saturday morning. This is GMA.
A little Gaga, a little Onya Nurve. Yep. Good morning, America. Good to see you. We're excited to speak to her. Her father making so many people across the country cry last night. So it is cool that she made us her first stop on that victory tour. Also coming up here, good evening, Japan. The Force is with Eva Pilgrim in Japan for Star Wars Celebration 2025. She's going to join us live with all the latest from the galaxy.
Definitely looking forward to that. We do have a lot of news to get to this morning as well, including the latest on the FSU shooting. In a show of solidarity, so many gathered at Florida State University to honor the lives lost and support those recovering from the tragedy.
Yep, but we begin with the breaking news overnight in the immigration battle. The Supreme Court acting on an emergency appeal from the ACLU involving new deportation efforts. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang joined us with the latest. Good morning again, Selena.
Hey, good morning again, Janae. The Trump administration's battle with the courts is rapidly escalating, with the Supreme Court again weighing in on their deportation plans, ruling on an emergency appeal from the ACLU, putting pause on the deportation of Venezuelan migrants held in Texas under the Alien Enemies Act. That's a centuries-old wartime law that provides little to no due process. The ACLU says they're relieved by this move and that, quote, these men were in imminent danger of spending their lives in a horrific foreign prison without ever having had a chance to go to court. Now, this comes as Senator Chris Van Hollen is now back in the U.S. after meeting face-to-face with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a migrant who was mistakenly sent to that notorious prison in El Salvador. The senator says that Abrego Garcia was traumatized by his time at the prison and that Salvadoran officials gave him no information about why he was sent there. The Trump administration insists that Abrego Garcia is a violent gang member, though his family denies it and he has no criminal convictions and they provided no evidence. Van Hollen says that the administration is blatantly defying the Supreme Court, which has ordered them to facilitate the release of Abrego Garcia. Van Hollen also says that this case is about more than just one person. He says that this is about protecting the constitutional rights and due process of every person living in America. Whit.
All right, Selena Wang for us. Thank you. Now to Tallahassee as we learn more about the mass shooting at Florida State University. Overnight, a vigil there for the 2 killed and 6 others who were injured. ABC's Faith Abube joins us now from there with the very latest. Faith, good morning.
Good morning to you, Whit. It was heart-wrenching watching so many people stop by this makeshift memorial yesterday. A lot of them students sobbing, hugging each other, some of them just standing in complete silence for an extended period of time, reflecting on the trauma they just went through here on this campus this week and also honoring the victims. This morning, as tributes pour in across Florida State University, the identities of some of the victims in that deadly campus shooting revealed. Both Tiru Chaba and Robert Morales killed in the rampage. Morales was a former assistant football coach at a nearby high school. Chaba, a father of 2, was working for a campus vendor when police say gunshots rang out Thursday. Police say at 11 a.m. the suspect arrived at an FSU parking garage, lingering until 11:56 a.m. before police say he fired the first shot. The entire shooting lasting less than 5 minutes, but police say suspect Phoenix Eichner claimed 2 lives and injured 6 other people. Panicked students sheltering in place. 23-year-old grad student Madison Askins shot from the back, trying to run for her life. She says she played dead to survive.
All I could think of is what my mom and dad always told me to do during an active shooter drill. Stay down, play dead. So I released all the muscles in my body, closed my eyes, and I held my breath.
Was there a moment where you thought, I'm not gonna make this, I'm gonna make it out of here?
When he reloaded, I thought, great, this might be the end. But I knew I just needed to stay calm, stay where I was.
By noon, police shooting the suspect after they say he ignored commands to drop his weapon. Investigators say the gun he allegedly used belonged to his stepmother, a local sheriff's deputy.
This was her personal weapon. It was a previous service weapon, but it was now her personal weapon. And so our policies align with Florida statute as it relates to that.
This as the troubled past of the suspect comes into sharper focus. Court documents revealing the former junior ROTC recruit was at the center of a years-long battle between his biological parents. For a time, his mother taking him out of the country, according to a petition filed in 2015. Court documents also say he was on medication for several health and mental issues, including growth hormone disorder and ADHD. And as for the investigation, Gio, investigators tell me that the suspect will be charged and arraigned once he's discharged from the hospital. They are currently coordinating the timeline of that with his doctors, and once he's discharged, he's headed straight to jail.
Gio.
And we are thinking of all of the families involved. Faith, thank you so much. Meanwhile, a college student is under arrest accused of firebombing 2 Tesla Cybertrucks in Kansas City last month. 19-year-old Owen McIntyre was back home on spring break when the FBI says he made a Molotov cocktail out of a vinegar bottle and a rag and threw it at a Tesla dealership. You see those images. This is the second arrest this week for alleged crimes against Tesla, which of course became a target after Elon Musk started leading the Trump administration's push to cut federal spending. McIntyre now faces federal charges. Janae?
All right, Gio. The puck drops later today on the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Winnipeg Jets ending the season on top and getting a shot at ending Canada's 30-plus year drought at winning the Stanley Cup. Florida is chasing back-to-back championships, while Washington's Alexander Ovechkin is hoping to cap off a record season with a cup. But the big story is also who's missing from this year's playoffs. Some of America's most iconic teams, the Rangers, Bruins, Red Wings, Penguins, and, of course, the Chicago Blackhawks all out.
All right. We got some fresh faces in there, though. We got NBA playoffs as well.
A lot going on.
Yeah, big playoff weekend. All right, coming up here in our GMA morning menu, it is Easter weekend, of course. So we have the hacks to make your egg hunt a little bit more budget-friendly.
Also ahead here, Tori Johnson is here with those on-the-go deals you don't want to miss.
And we're live with the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, sorry. Oh, live on GMA! Sorry, I forgot it was live.
And welcome back to GMA. With egg prices soaring this Easter weekend, people may be scrambling for some more affordable alternatives. So joining us now is mom influencer Shannon Doherty with Easter egg hacks that the kids will love. Shannon, it's great to see you again.
Great to see you.
Yes.
I'm so excited to be back.
So you're going to put me to work here. We've got some excellent options here.
We have some great options.
It's our pun of the day.
Yes.
We're going to start with craft eggs, right?
Craft eggs.
Show us what we're doing here.
So instead of going and buying real eggs, they're expensive, we're going to get some craft eggs. You can get a bunch of them for like $2 for a dozen.
Yeah.
Easy. And these are so fun. What I did was I painted them fun colors, which you can see up here, and then I got alphabet noodles. So little alphabet noodles and wrote words on them. I painted the noodles too, used glue, and we wrote like, knock, knock, who's there? Excellent. Just funny little puns, and you can decorate your table with them. They come out super cute and fun to do.
And especially, and you don't have to hard boil them and prep them and all that stuff. Cleanup's a little bit easier.
Yeah. Easy.
And so now we're on to string eggs.
Well, before we get to string, we're going to show you one more little crafty one.
Okay.
Stickers. So easy. If you have the craft eggs or the plastic eggs, instead of having to dye real eggs, just let your kids put stickers on them.
Stickers. You
Hours
can't go
of
wrong.
entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
They look adorable. Easy.
Kids love the stickers. Okay, now we're getting
on to the fun that we were very excited about.
These are so pretty.
They're beautiful. So this is definitely a trend this year. Making string eggs. They're so easy. You get a balloon, and then you get some string. Wrap the string around the balloon, and you're gonna, while you're wrapping it, you're gonna add glue around it. So it turns into
see all these different
egg.
sizes
Yeah,
like this,
all the
right?
different sizes. You can do small, big, and then you let it dry overnight. When the next day, this is the fun part.
So we've got our balloon in here.
Balloon
And
with the string.
And then you pop it?
Now you're gonna pop it. You're gonna pop the balloon. See?
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Look at that.
I know,
Yeah.
it's so fun. And then the balloon
It's still happening.
all shrivels up. Exactly. So then you take the balloon out
And
you
the egg
have
is still
this
here.
egg.
Look at that.
And you can fill them with candy, with fun things, but it's really
super
satisfying.
cool. Yeah,
and cool
it
too.
is.
My
and
kids are obsessed with it.
I know. I want to pop all of them. Okay,
So
now we have
easy.
sponge eggs. This is a little different and fun.
Yes, so this is another way we're gonna decorate dyeing eggs without real eggs this year. Get some sponges. I found these white ones.
Yeah.
Super fun, and you just dip them in the food coloring.
Okay.
Literally like doing a real egg, but with sponges.
Yes.
And you can decorate them. You can even, this is fun. Like,
Oh, that's like, what's that popsicle called right there?
yes,
Yeah.
these are just like popsicles.
And I'm dripping everywhere
Totally
because that's
fine. You
what
can
I do.
paint on them with like a little paintbrush, but my kids had so much fun with these. And then I made a little garden out of them, easy.
Nice.
And just out of sponges.
This is where I start mixing colors
You can
and
mix.
see how
Look
they
at
come
you.
together. Look, now we have purple because
So creative.
yeah.
I can still hear our balloon popping over.
It's still happening over here. And this way you have extra sponges that helps clean up at the very end.
Exactly.
So it's
and
perfect.
they look so pretty. But easy. Aren't these fun?
Yes, I love it. Shannon, as always, thank you so much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter, everybody.
It is time now for Deals and Steals. And whether you're planning a long weekend or your summer vacation, Tori Johnson is here with what to pack when you're on the go. And they're all from small businesses that we love. Tori Johnson,
thank you so much. Need every single day.
Absolutely. Starting with comfortable shapewear.
Yes, we're starting with Yummy. Super comfortable shapewear, and comfort is key. It's not constricting. They like to say it's kind of like a gentle hug instead of a suffocating squeeze.
We love
like,
that.
Nobody wants.
Yeah.
So we've got a big variety from them. Some of their most popular pieces are their shaping tees and tanks.
Oh.
That center one there, that beige center one, it's a tri-panel. So that's about medium compression.
Yeah.
This tank right here, which is reversible, is light compression. We also have their shaping leggings, which are great, 360 sculpt. So if you are in the mood and market for some shapewear, this is fabulous because it's all slashed in half plus free shipping.
Wow.
Yummy. The pieces
I love
start at
the
$10.
different types of compression. That's great.
Exactly.
All right,
Okay,
footwear.
Okabee. We've got a big variety of their Made in America flip-flops.
Love that.
Very rare to find shoes made in America. This is all about the belief that good health starts from the feet up, and they're based on two kind of principles of reflexology and ergonomics. They're all designed. Look at also the massaging beads, the really comfortable arch support, the non-slip traction, slip resistance on here,
Arch support and
easy to
flip-flops?
clean.
That's
Exactly.
hard to find.
Right, because they're typically really flat, and so you don't get that comfort. And then we've got the jeweled or the classics, your choice. Big assortment, big variety of colors, all 50% off, starting at $19.
Amazing. Okay, bags when you're on the go.
Bags when you're on the go. So this is a double bag. And so look at this 13-inch drop that you can put your... So it goes right...
on your arm.
It goes easily, comfortably under your arm. And then this one, you get a lot of bang for your buck on this because you get that tote bag plus this little piece for the inside. And what's great about this is you could use it with or without the strap. So you could just use it as kind of an organizing little pouch for the inside, or add the strap to it, and then you've got a crossbody bag. So this is a really smart one for travel, either keeping yourself organized or when you want to have two bags for on the go.
A lot of bag for your buck.
A lot of bag for your buck, because at 55% off, $26.50 for the double set.
Cha-ching.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay.
Stay safe on the go.
Safety on the go. You heard me
try this out
this earlier. I'm not going to do it here. Spartan Defense. What I love about this is it clips easily onto backpack, bag, belt loop. There's kind of no excuse not to have it. You can attach it to...
Oh, you did it.
I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
It works
quickly. Yeah. So it's got either the flashlight, strobe light on the side, or you pull this out for the piercing sound. And when you pull it out, it's both designed to startle somebody, as it did me, as well as attract attention to get help from somebody else.
Even if you're running or something.
Even if you're running. Yeah, so smart. We also have an option that syncs with the Find My app on an iPhone. So if you put it with your keys or your bag and you lose your keys or bag, it's going to help you find it. Singles and sets, rechargeable or battery operated, all /and-have plus free shipping from Spartan Defense.
Good stuff.
Okay, upgrade to distraction-free navigation and communication on the roads. Bracketron's been a leader in mobile mounting for more than 20 years, so they really know what they're doing. We've got a big variety. I think your little buddies over there were investigating some of these. So they can go on the dash, on the window, even in the cup holder. So depending on your car and your preference, we've got a style for you. These are the real deal, all /and-have, starting at $12.50. And then finally, you guys know Aquavolt, the little charge card. And so this is the wired version.
Look how small this is.
So small, fits in your wallet. It has all the cords so that you don't need to worry about having one. But then we also have their new wireless charging one as well that will just fit right onto your phone, and then it's literally just like that. As long as you have a QI enabled phone, that the magnetic one goes right there. All /and-have, they start at $29.
Charge card. It's so cute too.
It is cute.
Love these, Tori. Thank you so much. We partnered with
too.
Oh, you're cute too. We've partnered with all these companies. Find each deal on our website, goodmorningamerica.com. You're cute too. Coming up, we're live in Japan for Star Wars Celebration 2025. Stick around. We'll be right back here on GMA.
Okay, we are back now with Win the Weekend with an 8-time Olympic gold medalist enjoying a victory at an unlikely place.
Yeah, Jamaica's Shelly Ann Fraser-Price is a gold medal sprinter and the 3rd fastest woman in history and a mom. Now take a look at what happened when she competed, with fellow parents.
What?
My goodness, at a 100-meter race at her son's school sport day.
That is mom speed.
Shelly Ann showed no mercy as she pulled far ahead of the competition and left everyone in the dust.
I actually want to see those straggling at the back. So you see the dads that pulled a hand. So Shelly proudly shared the video, joking, "They haven't banned me yet, so I'm at the line." And it turns out, runs of the family, her son took home 2 gold medals of his own that day.
Wow.
She is a legend, by the way, and she's still got it, clearly.
Genes for speed.
Yeah, right?
I like that.
We got to show the dads at some point. Come on.
Dancing in here. Back now on GMA with Ariana Grande giving us a behind-the-scenes peek at how her Brighter Days Ahead short film, which she co-directed, actually came together. And fun fact, the doctor in the movie, which accompanied the March release of her record Eternal Sunshine Deluxe Brighter Day Ahead, is played by Grande's real-life dad, Ed Butera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's cool. Yeah, that's great. All right, let's take a look at some of the top headlines that we're following right now. Some bad news for home buyers. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. has climbed to its highest level in 8 weeks. The average rate climbing up to 6.83%. That's up from 6.62% just a week ago, the largest one-week jump in almost a year. This comes as the White House's tariffs and escalating trade war with China have injected volatility into the stock market.
Nintendo announcing that pre-sales for its Switch 2 will begin next week after being halted over tariff concerns. For now, Nintendo says the price of the updated console will remain at $450 as previously announced, but price adjustments could be made in the future depending on market conditions.
And the NBA playoffs kick off today. 20 teams are vying for the championship title, including the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies, who secured the final 2 playoff spots. You, of course, can catch the full slate of NBA playoffs starting at 1 on ESPN. Then the Timberwolves-Lakers game at 8:30 right here on ABC.
It's April right now. This is when it'll be June, and we're still talking about NBA playoffs.
That's right,
It's a good chunk of time.
We'll have to stretch it out.
Yes, absolutely. So buckle
get
up.
everything out of it.
Also here, the force is strong. It is strong in Japan this weekend. Star Wars Celebration 2025 is happening there, and fans from around the world have gathered just outside Tokyo for big reveals about what's coming up in that celebration next here in the Star Wars universe. And Eva Pilgrim is there with some super fans and super costumes. Hey, Eva.
Hey there, Gia. Welcome to the Navarro Outpost. All of this build, the characters, even these droids, made possible to an army of super fan volunteers here at the Star Wars Celebration in Japan. This is really a chance for people to immerse themselves in this world. Don't you feel like you're here? And they're even getting a few exclusive sneak peeks at what's to come. At Star Wars Celebration in Japan, the Mandalorian and Grogu is taking center stage. Along with the brains behind the Disney Plus series turned feature film releasing next year, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are Star Wars royalty. When you see all of this out here, the sort of love that they clearly have for the two of you.
And he walked on stage, and it was like Beyonce.
Well, maybe not Beyonce, but I know these
people.
People
Cheered. Every joke he made, they laughed.
It's the only venue where my jokes
I was
played.
like, oh, there's some. He's
the only
connected with this.
I've been
his audience.
Their plans for the franchise so tightly guarded, fans searching for meaning behind any detail they reveal.
So you guys are looking at the things that they're theorizing about and saying. So are they right ever? Are there theories that are out there?
I will never confirm or deny, but it's interesting.
Sometimes they'll come up with great storylines.
Yeah,
that wasn't occurred to us. Like, wow, that's
say we should only make trailers because then we could see what they think, and at least someone will be happy with the movie we made. But our fans are very smart. They're savvy.
And while the duo wouldn't say much about what we can expect, they did let slip a little casting news.
John gets, he's really taught me a lot about performance. It's his fault that I wound up an X-Wing pilot. because he felt it was so important to get in front of the camera.
We can give an exclusive here. He's in the film.
Oh,
I'm in the
really?
film. And I wear this hat. This is screen used. This is a screen
He's in it for the wardrobe.
I'm in it for the wardrobe. Yeah.
Together, they use their shared love for Star Wars to guide their storytelling.
John and I are on the same wavelength about what we like about Star Wars, and that makes it come together rather easily. If we disagree about something, we make it a creative story point because we're like, oh, that's interesting, so let's put that in story. That's conflict. Like when he told me that Mandalorians don't take their helmet off, I'm like, well, yes, they do. We did it all the time in Clone Wars.
But I was thinking about Boba Fett with his helmet on. I grew up, you'd see the movie as many times as you could in the theaters, but you'd spend orders of magnitude more time playing with the toys. So that was, Darth Vader was that.
That childhood wonder out in full force here in Japan.
You see so many kids out here. So many of us have children that are big fans. What is it about the Star Wars world that just family, age after age?
Yeah, it's always been generational, and I think it's because it's grounded in values and ideas that I think appeal to all ages. And parents just love being able to introduce their kids to these stories. And then that just has continued to get passed down. So you give a huge credit to George Lucas, who created this amazing mythology that just continues to resonate.
And y'all, this place has just been packed. Over 100,000 people from 125 countries have been here. So much fun, guys.
Oh, we hear that, y'all. You brought South Carolina all the way to Japan, Eva. What more can you reveal from the Star Wars celebration?
Oh my gosh, there's been so much, Janae. So today they actually let the people here see a sneak peek of episode 1 of season 2 of Andor. We actually got to sit down and talk with the whole cast. We also spoke with Ahsoka and Anakin about their very deep history, both on and off camera. And, you know, I made some friends.
Oh, you love the friends.
How fun is that?
Yeah, boy.
Eva, you're having a blast out there. I'm loving this assignment for you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right, coming up here on GMA, Shantae, she stays. Onya Nurve winning the crown in season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race. And you know GMA is her first stop as queen. We're going to sit down with her next.
America's next drag superstar is Onya Nurve.
And that right there is the winning moment. A new queen won the crown last night on the Emmy Award-winning show, RuPaul's Drag Race. And she is here for her very first live interview here on GMA, representing Cleveland, Ohio. Congratulations, Onya Nurve. Welcome. We are so glad to have you here. It's only been a few hours. What was it like to hear RuPaul call your name?
It was surreal. You know, you hear RuPaul call girls' names for 16 seasons now. So to hear her say my name and as a winner, it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, we heard that reaction. Yeah. You know, you've talked about how important it is to highlight your ethnicity.
Yes.
Why?
You know, before going to college, I wasn't too knowledgeable on Black culture. And when I got to college, I learned so much about it and how deep in history and how beautiful it was. So ever since then, everything that I do artistically is just about my culture because it's just so fun.
Yeah.
And you said that, I asked you if you got your fashion sense from your mom, Nina. She's here. You said she's been wearing lashes since she was like 5 years old.
Something like that.
On the makeover episode, there's Mama.
Nina.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, baby.
On the makeover episode, you got to put your dad in drag for the very first time on TV. Everyone's been talking about your dad's reaction to last night, crying there in the audience as you won. What has it meant for you to be able to share this with your family?
It has meant the world, you know. My dad has always been a huge support, but he hasn't always been in my life for some big moments like graduation, for instance. So for him to come on Drag Race, and not only come on Drag Race, but get into drag with me was amazing. He has always supported my drag, but I didn't think it was to the point where he would come on the show and dress up as a woman.
And that's what everybody's talking about, that tearful moment last night to watch him there in the audience. What advice would you give to parents of queer children?
I would say talk less and listen more.
Oh.
You know, I feel like parents sometimes feel like they have to tell their child something, but when you have a queer child, it's a good opportunity to just listen and hear what they have to say. Call them by their appropriate pronouns and learn from them.
Yeah, there's so much as parents that we can always learn from our children.
Absolutely.
We have a photo, and I want to bring this up. It is you. Oh, look at that. What would you tell little Onya Nurve?
I would tell little Onya Nurve that I am so proud of you. I am so proud of the work that you put in this 31 years of living, and finally you can say it paid off.
Oh, it paid off.
Oh, it paid off.
Perfect transition, because you just won $200,000.
$200K,
Excuse me. What are you doing with that?
You know, at my age, I really want to buy a house. In the future, been living in Ohio also my whole life, so I would be open to moving to New York or LA, somewhere fun. I deserve to get out of Ohio for a little bit, right?
Do you feel like this is really just like your dream coming true?
It really is my dream come true. I've had RuPaul's Drag Race on my vision board since I started doing drag, and I told my brother that I was going to get on the show and I was going to win. And I did it.
There
you go.
You did.
Manifesting.
Onya Nurve, congratulations to you on everything. And thank you again so much for being here bright and early, just hours after you won. And you can catch all the episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race, season 17 on MTV.
Yes, thank you again.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
And we are back now with Secret Sales, featuring eco-friendly savings for your home. Perfect as we count down to Earth Day. That's happening next week. Will Gans is here with all of these great products. Good morning to you once again.
Good morning to you.
So tax week just happened. We've got stuff lying around, and this is a way to protect your privacy.
And it's also very fun to do. Here, this is Guard Your ID, and it's perfect for blotting out sensitive information that you don't want prying eyes to get a hold of. So perfect for your tax day documents. It's
Who's
perfect.
Steve, by the way? We keep putting his address everywhere.
Yeah, America, if you're trying to steal Steve's identity, here it is.
Not anymore.
Right, not anymore. Thanks to Guard Your ID. So I didn't even know, but shredding is not eco-friendly. This is a great alternative to that. We have different sizes. You can also use it on a prescription bottle, bank statements, mailing labels, bills, you name it, we have it. And today the deal, just $20 from Guard Your ID.
Oh, wow,
a full
that's amazing.
Set, a full set for $20.
Full set, perfect. All right, let's. We want to keep the home fresh, right? As we're heading into spring.
Dry, odor-free. Yeah,
exactly.
this is
get the stank out.
Get the stank out, and that's what it does. It doesn't just mask the stank; it absorbs the stank. So this is Moso Natural Air Purifying bags, and what they're made out of is Moso bamboo charcoal. 100%. It's just one ingredient, and at the end of its 2-year life, one of these bags, you can just recycle the whole thing into your garden. So it's like earth-friendly, and it lasts for 2 years, and it's safe for people, it's safe for pets, and it's good for the planet too. And it really, really works. I keep this where Archie is hanging out most of the time.
Archie's your dog.
Archie's my dog.
just to clarify.
Yes. So it works.
My roommate Archie, he just stinks up the place.
Stinks up the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Not anymore, by the way. All right, you can save now for bags for your home, for your car, for your shoes, more. From
Love it.
Natural.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Now sometimes with makeup, we're looking for eco-friendly ways to remove that.
I'm a huge fan of makeup eraser. So all you have to do with this is add water, and it replaces.
You never wear makeup.
That's right. This is a natural glow for people who do need makeup.
Woke up like this.
Yeah, exactly. You just add water, and you feel it suctioning out all of the makeup, the grime, the grease from your pores. And there are sets that will last you the whole week, so you can just wash them and then reuse them. And they're really, really cute for anyone who is looking to upgrade their daily makeup eraser. So because you're saving money, you're saving the planet, this is a perfect buy. Today, our deal, singles and sets, all 50 to 60% off.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, I was keeping my eye on this situation over here, like the power goes out or like an outdoor emergency. What do we have?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So this is Rayovac, and you can charge 9 different things. There are 9 different charging ports in this. It's a solar-powered generator, and this is really the gift of peace of mind. So should your power go out, it is storm season. I was texting my family in Texas because it's tornado season down there. Yeah.
And a flashlight?
And you get a flashlight as well. So these are portable and durable. You charge them with the sun, and then this is perfect for any emergencies should you need it.
So cool.
Yeah. You can also use it for camping as well. Today, our deal, 40% off and free shipping.
Free shipping. We're all about that.
All right.
Checking these out, too.
Yeah.
Nice and silky pillowcases.
This is a silky pillowcase from Night, and these are fabulous as well. 100% pure silk, recommended by estheticians, dermatologists, and hairstylists because it's good for your skin, it's good for your hair.
Snow leopard, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
I am a big fan of that sound effect. Thank you for adding to it. So the amazing thing is,
audio board.
Yeah, exactly. Say you have a Zoom call early in the morning. You don't want to wake up with those lines on your face from a cotton pillowcase. This will solve that for you. We also have Satin Beauty pillowcases, anti-bedhead, anti-breakout, anti-sleep lines. Today you can save up to 75% off from Night.
75% off. Will Gans, as always.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Of course, you got it.
Thank you.
We partnered with all these companies on these secret sales. You can find them on our website or by scanning the QR code right there on the screen. And thank you so much. What was that?
That looks fun.
Oh, it does look fun.
We don't have time.
Yeah.
Thanks for starting your day with us.
Happy Saturday.
I'll see you on ABC News Live, and we'll see you tomorrow right here. Have a good one.